right, picture this, brunch patio in Midtown, river trail 30 minutes later, Kings game later that night. That's just a regular Tuesday here. Now, Sacramento is not the city that most people think of. It's not a second tier city that you settle for just because you got priced out of the Bay Area. It's one of the most livable and underrated cities in the entire country. And most people never figure that out because they just judge it wrong.
We've worked with hundreds of people who come here thinking Sacramento was the backup plan. And somewhere around day 2, the vibe just clicked. The food, the trails, the neighborhoods, the way the city actually fits into real life. And now they cannot imagine living anywhere else.
Now, this video is a little bit different than what we typically do, but we're gonna be taking you through 50 things that you can do in Sacramento, but we're not just gonna be reading off of a list. We're gonna be showing you how this city actually fits together, what kind of lifestyle Sacramento actually builds, and we're gonna save the number one for the very end because the best thing to do in Sacramento is not what most people expect. So stick around with us because you'll definitely wanna see that one. All right, now Sacramento has 15 Michelin-rated restaurants, over 30 miles of river trails inside of the city limits, MLB, NBA, USL Soccer, all within walking distance of each other from downtown Sacramento. It's the farm to fork capital of the country, 200 plus parks, 800 plus murals, and a cost of living that makes the Bay Area transplants feel like they won the lottery.
And when you layer all of that into real daily life, it does not just look good on a list. It feels completely different. And that is what we want you to actually see. Not the brochure version, the version people actually live every single day.
And we are saving the number one thing for the very end, so stick around because it'll make sense as soon as you get there. All right, let's start with the stretch of the list that flips people the fastest, because Sacramento definitely has a habit of surprising people in the first couple hours of them getting here. So number 8, or this first section of the list, is going to be the American River Parkway. This is going to be 32 miles of trails, river corridor, shade, and breathing room right inside of the Sacramento Metro. This isn't just some greenway or some little creek that's going to be jammed inside behind some strip mall. This is actually going to be real infrastructure. This is an awesome place where people can bike it before work, they can run it after work, heck, they can even take their dog out for it on their lunch break.
All right, number 7, a real Midtown brunch run. We're talking J Street moving, patios packed before noon, dogs out, everybody looking like the day owes them nothing. And that energy is a Sacramento specialty. Not fake fancy, not overdressed, just alive.
Now, the Midtown Mural Walk is going to be next on this list, and Sacramento has over 800 murals, and the best part is how they show up. It's not some tidy arts district behind some velvet ropes. It's just folded into normal blocks that you have in your every day-to-day lifestyle. Old brick, side streets, patio tables, bike chain to poles, and then a wall just lights up out of nowhere.
All right, number 5, Old Sacramento waterfront. We're talking 125 plus shopping, dining, and attraction options, 53 historic buildings, 28 acres. It feels dense, it feels lived in. You've got brick, wood, riverfront trains, kids with ice cream. It's a little messy in the best way, and that is exactly what makes it work.
Number 4 is going to be Tower Bridge at sunset, one of the most photographed spots in the entire city. You got the river below you, you got the skyline behind it, golden light on everything. Simple, easy, and every single time people look at Sacramento a little bit differently after that walk. And the other cool thing about the Tower Bridge, if you time it right, you can actually get tickets to the Farm to Fork dinner, which is actually, they close down the Tower Bridge and they set up tables from end to end. It's actually one of the coolest things you could ever do in Sacramento.
All right, number 3, Golden One Center on game night. Now, we've had clients come in from the Bay Area once. They were trying to stay open-minded, but in their head, Sacramento was still the backup plan. We kept it simple, Midtown, river time, game that night. By the end of the evening, they were not asking if Sacramento had enough. They were asking which neighborhood would let them live like that every single week. That's a whole different conversation.
All right, number 2 on this section is going to be Doco and Downtown Commons, where we're at right now. Right next to the arena, you have restaurants, bars, retail. Ice blocks are going to be a little bit further away, but it's going to be something that's a little bit sharper. The whole pocket gets loud on game nights, jerseys everywhere, reservations running behind, people spilling onto the sidewalks like the night got a little bit louder by accident.
All right, now number 1 in this section, and this one's a fun one, the Dive Bar Mermaid Show. Now, Sacramento is comfortable being weird. We're talking drinks moving, music up, mermaids literally swimming over the bar in a giant tank, and everybody just goes with it. A city needs a few places that make no sense on paper and still completely deliver.
Now, real quick, before we keep going, if this is your first time on the channel, we're Lance and Lauren with the Living in Sacramento team, where we make these videos for you guys about what it's really like living, moving, and relocating to the Sacramento and surrounding areas. So we help hundreds of families buy and sell homes here right in the Sacramento Metro, and we drop videos every single week so you have real boots on the ground info to make the best decision possible. Now, on top of making these videos, we're also licensed real estate agents in the state of California, which means that As much as we love making these videos, we actually love helping you more with all of your real estate needs. So that phone number is going to be popping up right now. We are the ones that answer every phone call, email, and text message. And we absolutely love it when you guys reach out to us. So go ahead, take a screenshot, snap that phone number, or better yet, scan that QR code so you can schedule your one-on-one strategy session. We can help put together the best game plan for you on what it's like moving to the greater Sacramento metro. Now, the quickest lie detector test for any simple city: skip the skyline, skip the sales pitch, and go out and eat. I love food, and Sacramento tells on itself super fast. Now, I used to be a former fatty, so I don't know if that's why Lauren gave me this section or not, but Sacramento has over 15 Michelin-rated restaurants. The kitchen localis proved this city can run anybody in town. So number 17 is going to be a true farm to fork diner. Sacramento has been known for the farm to fork capital since 2013, and the label actually came from something that we see that happens on this tower bridge behind me. Once a year, they shut down the entire bridge and they have the Farm to Fork Festival where you can actually have dinner on this bridge. They shut it down from side to side, and it's actually one of the coolest things that you can do in Sacramento. Now, California and Sacramento has some of the most productive agricultural land in the entire country, and it sits right outside of the city limits. So the ingredients are not just spending 3 or 4 days on a truck by the time they hit your plate. Now, number 16 as it relates to food is gonna be the Midtown Farmers Markets. Now, this is one of the largest certified farmers markets in the entire state of California, and it moves like it. Flowers getting hauled around, bread in paper bags, somebody's juggling a coffee and a pastry down at one end. Now, the Sacramento farmers markets are definitely a vibe. You drift from stall to stall and you have nowhere urgent to be. So this isn't just produce, this is a whole weekend mood. Then you have the Midtown coffee crawl, espresso machines hissing, patio chairs scraping, brunch plates landing, conversations going way past the point when anybody has anything planned to do. Now, Midtown works because it feels used. It's not staged, it's not polished to death, it's just lived in. Now, number 14 is gonna be the South Sacramento Food Run. Now, this is where you get all of the real stuff. Vietnamese, Mexican, sushi, all tucked into family corners that don't need the hype because the food already handled that introduction. Strip mall locations, big flavors, zero performance. Now, a city can fake prestige, but it's a lot harder to fake the places that people trust after work on a random Wednesday. Now, number 13 on the list is going to be Frank Fats. Now, this place has been a part of Sacramento's story since 1939. Politician, deals, history right there in the dining room. Number 12 is going to be Tower Cafe, and that one's also going to be an institutional type of energy where half of the appeal is knowing that it's already been a part of the Sacramento culture for decades. Now, these spots give Sacramento continuity. They keep the food scene feeling like everything good showed up last spring and tacked on $10 for vibe. Now, numbers 11 and 10 are gonna be cocktails in the Handle District and a local brewery or tap room at night. Now, Sacramento is quietly strong in that middle zone where dinners become one more drink, and somehow everyone is okay with that most nights of the week. Number 9 is gonna be build a downtown dinner around a show night. So maybe near K Street, maybe near the Crest Theater or the Safe Credit Union Performing Arts Center, but more movement, more lights, and the whole thing picks up. Or you can flip it out to the waterfront in Old Sacramento near the Delta King, river air, slower pace, more atmosphere, food and drinks right on the water. Most of the time you can pull up on a boat to a lot of the places on the river. You've got Chevys, you've got crawdads on the river, and you got Swabbies that are gonna be down by the airport. So Sacramento handles food like it handles the whole city. Different moods stacked close together, easy to fold into real life, and a lot stronger than people expect.
Plenty of cities can feed you well and still trap you in concrete. Sacramento pulls a better trick. Number 26 is going to be the Jedediah Smith Memorial Trail. You've got tires humming, trees covering overhead, the river off to the side, runners coming through, and that trail gives Sacramento something a lot of cities wish they had: actual relief. Now, number 25 is gonna be Lake Natoma. It's right in the Folsom corridor. You've got paddle boarding out there. You can go kayaking. There's no motorboats on that water, which is awesome, so it's not choppy. You can let the day drop a few gears. A place starts looking a lot better when that kind of reset is just your typical Saturday. Now, number 24 is gonna be Discovery Park, where I'm at right now. This is where the American River meets the Sacramento River. You can throw a picnic blanket down. You've got bikes that'll be cutting through, kids running around, groups posted up in the shade. You've got the river air taking the edge off. Nothing's overstyled here and nothing's too hard. Another cool thing about Discovery Park is they do a ton of concerts and events down here where the whole area just floods with massive people for really fun vibes and entertainment. Next up is gonna be number 23, McKinley Park in East Sacramento. Now this is an easy older neighborhood. You've got the Rose Garden, the duck pond, a playground, a walking path. This is the kind of park that you end up at 3 times a week without ever planning it. Number 22 is gonna be Capitol Park, which feels calmer than it has any right to be, and it's actually located in the middle of the city. Now, here you've got tree canopies in Sacramento, and temperatures in this park can drop anywhere from 10 to 15 degrees just because of all that shade. Now, that's not a marketing stat, that's survival. That's a better summer and a better way to spend your outdoors. And with 200 plus parks, the city has been building toward a 10-minute walk to a park for every resident, no matter where you live. People actually use that. Now, next is gonna be number 21, Sutter's Landing Park. You've got river access, skyline views, trail energy, and it has a little bit of dust on its shoes. It's a good place with some great grit, not too much polish, and it doesn't feel fake. Number 20 is gonna be the River Cruise out of Old Sacramento. Now, this is definitely a different perspective. You've got the skyline from the water. City looks completely different when you're floating past it. It's absolutely gorgeous. Next is gonna be number 19, the whitewater rafting on the American River. You can take a quiet trail run loop here one day. You can spend an entire day floating down the river the next. Now, not many metros are gonna give you both without making you drive 2 hours for it, which is what makes Sacramento so great.
A city tells the truth about itself after dark. Not when everybody is polished up for visitors. When people finish work, grab dinner, head to a Kings game, catch a show, or head out for drinks, and decide whether or not this is gonna feel easy or it's gonna feel more like a chore. And Sacramento passes the test every single time.
All right, number 34, a Kings game at Golden One Center. Then Doco after. The arena sits right in downtown's entertainment core. When the calendar is hot, that whole city has an electric energy. Not fake hype, but real momentum.
Number 33 is going to be a Republic FC soccer game over at Heart Health Park. The Sac Republic's a different kind of night though. Rougher, a little bit more local, scarves up, crowd louder. The newcomers expect less glossy and more of an actual pulse. Sacramento wears underdog energy extremely well and always has.
Number 32, Sacramento Athletics at Sutter Health Park, or at least for the next few years. Now, baseball gives the night more room to breathe, longer conversations, slower pace, better excuse to stay out. And having MLB in the mix is a real shift for this region. We're hoping that having the A's in Sacramento shows the MLB that we're ready for a team of our own. Baseball in West Sacramento can give you a serious reason to get out of the house when the weather is just perfect.
Number 31, 30, and 29 is going to be the live music nights. You've got Harlow's, Ace of Spades, the Crest Theater, Safe Credit Union Performing Arts Center. Not a giant nightclub nonsense, not some overbuilt production, but tighter rooms, better crowds, bass that you can feel in your chest, and a little bit more of that intimate setting to see some of your favorite artists in the Sacramento Metro. People are there for the show, not just to be seen. Now, this Sacramento nightlife is a complete lane of its own.
All right, and number 28, festival night or a night market. Sacramento 365 tracks hundreds of annual events. You've got food in your hand, music somewhere in the background, people wandering, no giant agenda, a little mess, a little atmosphere. Sacramento is better when it stays loose like that.
All right, now number 27 is going to be a Midtown cocktail crawl. One sharper stop to open up, one lower key place right after that, maybe a patio, maybe a dive bar where nobody's trying to impress anybody. Maybe it's one of those nights where somebody says one more and everybody already knows that that's how the story ends. This is the lane that Sacramento owns. Social, a little gritty, easy again to do week after week. All right, go ahead and drop something in the comments down below for us. What is your kind of city night? Is it big game energy, live music in a smaller venue, low-key patio crawl, or something totally weirder? Tell us down in the comments, because the next section is where Sacramento stops being what everybody posts about and starts being about what locals actually love.
The landmarks get the photos. The places people stay loyal to usually sit a little off angle. Now, number 40 is going to be Second Saturday down here in Midtown. Now, the sidewalks are going to be a little bit fuller. Music's going to be drifting out. People are actually hanging around because the neighborhood earned their time. It happens every month, but it never feels stiff. A district feels alive when people choose to linger.
Number 39 is going to be Oak Park. Now, at a ground level, this part of the city has a lot of character. It's got an art scene, local food, a neighborhood that got interesting the hard way and earned every bit of it. Number 38 will be Tahoe Park, a little bit quieter with local favorites, a bakery with regulars already lined up, dinner spots that stay busy because the food handles the marketing.
All right, number 37 is going to be the Dive Bar Mermaid Show. Now, we've said it before and we're going to say it again. Sacramento definitely keeps itself weird, which is awesome. Now, number 36 is going to be McGee's Old Time Photos in Old Sacramento. Corny idea, but super funny result. Somebody commits way too hard to the outfit. Somebody swears they're only doing it as a joke, and 5 minutes later, the whole group is fully in. That's the kind of offbeat fun that you can find in this awesome city.
Number 35 is going to be Build Your Own Neighborhood Loop. Now, this one's going to be coffee to park to some type of casual dinner. It's not going to be a giant itinerary, but it's going to be a real neighborhood day. Coffee first, park lap after, dinner somewhere local that never needed to hype to stay busy. That rhythm tells you more about the neighborhood than one big attraction ever will, and that's the local flex here. Some have small sequences that make an area feel easy to use and hard to quit. Now, a city can look great right up until the kids take a nap, get hungry, or decide that their socks are a full-blown emergency. Our middle child, when she was younger, man, she could never wear her socks right side in. She always had to wear them inside out just because she would have a complete meltdown. But we are talking about family-friendly fun stuff in this section, with the first one being the Mosaic Museum of Science and Curiosity. Now, this has 100+ exhibits, hands-on everything, and you have the UC Davis Multiverse Theater, which brings out a super cool wow moment, full dome show. Still feels like a massive event. Number 45 is gonna be the Sacramento Zoo, which is directly behind me. You're gonna have over 300+ animals, over 90 different species, which means that when you're trying to stretch an outing with the kiddos, you're not gonna hear, we already saw everything in 20 minutes. Now, at number 44 is gonna be Fairy Tale Town and Funderland, which is gonna be across the street over at William Land Park. You're gonna have 26 different play sets, farm animals. You're gonna have a ton of different imagination that's all gonna be built into the charm, and it's not gonna feel overproduced. I remember I used to come here when I was a little kid, but this whole section of William Land Park is gonna have a ton of different things. You've got a golf course that's gonna be over in that section. Tons of different things. We've always come down here and filmed, but super great park, especially if you are coming down here and you're trying to look for a lot of different things to do. Now, the cool thing is Funderland is gonna have some little, like little amusement park rides, which is going to be a win without having to turn the whole day into this giant theme park marathon that leaves everybody cooked by the end of the afternoon. So it's kid size, it's fun, definitely for the littles, but it's gonna be manageable and it's gonna be a huge difference. Then number 43 is going to be the California State Railroad Museum. That's gonna be back down in Old Sacramento. This one gets almost 500,000+ visitors a year, and you can walk in and you can see the scale of the history of all these different trains. Now, number 42 is going to be still again in Old Sacramento, and that's just gonna be like an Old Sacramento fun family day. So not gonna be like the polished postcard version, but you're gonna have different trains out there, candy shops, you're gonna have riverfront restaurants, goofy detours, sticky fingers, candy shops, donut places, you got a pizza place, you got a burger spot down there. That's gonna be super fun. And you pair that with the Railroad Museum that we just talked about right before this, and it's gonna work out for a super fun family day. Kind of fun just to kind of go around there and kind of, play a little touristy for the day, but super fun when grandparents are in town, super fun when cousins are visiting, random half days. They do field trips down there all the time. Number 41, in similar kind of comparison to like Land Park, is gonna be down south in Elk Grove at the Elk Grove Regional Park. So if you're gonna be in the south suburbs for this one, they have a water play area. They got a lake similar to kind of Land Park area, picnic area, splash pads, walking trails, huge park, super cool energy. I always feel like they have something going on there. Anytime we go down there to film in Elk Grove, it usually is always happening. They've got barbecues, they've got softball tournaments, but a lot of stuff always happening. So super community park, and it's definitely the kind of thing similar to like the Maidu, similar to the Mahaney parks up in Roseville, Johnson, Springview, and Rockland. These big, massive mega parks, or these big community parks, are super fun to go to. Now, before we get into the final section and the number one thing to do in Sacramento, if you're watching this and you're thinking, yeah, this is the version of Sacramento that I could actually see myself living in, don't try to figure out which neighborhood is gonna fit you best. This is exactly what Lauren and I are here for. We help people like you make this decision every single week, whether it's figuring out which rhythm or neighborhood fits your lifestyle, which pocket makes your life easier, or which part of Sacramento actually matches the life that you want to live. That phone number is going to be up there. Call us, text us, scan the QR code, book your strategy call, and we'll definitely take it from there.
Sacramento makes a lot more sense the second you realize parts of this city are literally buried underneath the version people see today. That changes the whole read. Not fake old town charm, not some polished little history package, real scars, real structure, real grit under the surface. Now, number 49, the underground tours, one of the sharpest perspective shifts Sacramento has. Buried storefronts, flood history, with sections of the city literally razed and rebuilt. That district holds 53 historic buildings across 28 acres. You're not looking at decorative history, you're looking at a city that got hit, adapted, and kept going. Now, number 48, the California State Capitol Museum and Capitol Park. Government core, yes, but the park keeps it from going stiff. We're talking big trees, paths cutting through, monuments in the landscape, people walking it like it just folded into the day. Sacramento has 32 museums. That alone tells you there is more depth here than outsiders usually assume. Now, number 47, the Crocker Art Museum and Sutter's Fort. I'm standing right in front of the Crocker Art Museum now. Now, this place gives Sacramento range, one of the oldest art museums in the Western United States, world-class rotating exhibits, strong permanent collection. And Sutter's Fort gives the city an origin story with a little dirt still on it. One proves Sacramento has a real creative layer. The other reminds you Sacramento had rough edges long before the current version ever showed up.
Now, Sacramento is a terrible city to judge on the wrong weekend. Catch it flat, too hot, or in a weird in-between stretch, and you're gonna think this place sucks. Catch it when the calendar lines up, and this place gets completely different.
Spring gives you the easiest win. You've got patios back in play, river air feeling like a reward instead of survival, and the city finally gets out of its own way.
Summer takes a little bit more thought process. Nobody beats the Sacramento heat by pretending it's not there. You win by being strategic. Early outdoor strategic activities, midday hideout, night plans a little later when the sun goes down and the Delta breeze picks up. River in the morning, air conditioning in the middle of the day, baseball or live music after the sun stops fighting everybody.
Now, fall is when Sacramento really starts to show its true colors. You've got the Farm to Fork Festival on Tower Bridge, California State Fair at Cal Expo, the Aftershock Music Festival down in Discovery Park right on the river. These are not just events sitting on a list. They change the volume in specific pockets of the city. Better air, better appetite, better patio weather, and the State Fair alone pulls in over 1 million visitors every single year.
Wintertime is the time of the year that you have to be a little bit more creative. East Sacramento with holiday lights, Old Sacramento for the Polar Express and seasonal programming hits a lot differently when the air cools off. Museum and indoor events land better and lower key nights feel a lot stronger. Now this is a great opportunity to head to Lake Tahoe for some skiing and snowboarding, or you can head down to Napa for some wine tasting. Sacramento doesn't need perfect weather to keep the whole thing interesting.
Now that's why Sacramento 365 is such a useful move. You've got hundreds of annual events, dozens of things always happening every single week. The move is not memorizing some perfect top 10 weekend. This move is checking out what kind of weekend the city is actually offering and building around that.
Now we've been building to the final section, number 50 through number 2, all incredible, all worth your time. But the number one thing to do in Sacramento is live here.
Sacramento is not interesting because it has one giant signature attraction. It works because all of the fun stuff sits on top of something older, stranger, weirder, and tougher than people ever expect. You've got the trails, the food, the nightlife, the family spots, all the hidden gems, all the beautiful seasons. None of these items are a tourism highlight. It's just a really solid, good life, a life that people come here expecting to be fine with and end up not being able to imagine living anywhere else.
We worked with so many families who came in thinking that they were just settling, trying to narrow down on a house. And somewhere along that process, they realized that they weren't just choosing a house, but they were choosing an actual vibe and a lifestyle here in Sacramento. That's why guessing is such a bad move. Not because Sacramento is overly complicated, but because when you pick the wrong area, it can make your routine feel clunky real fast. And the right one can make the whole city click in a way that you didn't expect.
So if you're thinking about moving to Sacramento and you want real help figuring out which neighborhood, suburb, or pocket actually fits your lifestyle, then give us a call, shoot us a text, send us an email. We are your local Sacramento real estate team of choice, and all of our contact information is going to be in the description below.
Reach out, let us help you build the right game plan and strategize what's going to be the best thing. Hey, and if you guys like this type of video or you guys want to see different angles of Sacramento, go ahead and comment down below and let us know. And then watch this video about the best 10 suburbs in Sacramento.